Trump says he wants to correct false rumor of bad relationship with UK's May report by CBS. President Trump kicked off his first official day in Davos, Switzerland, by holding a bilateral meeting with one of the closest allies to the United States, the United Kingdom's Prime Minister Theresa May, where he said he wanted to clarify reports surrounding his working relationship with the UK's political leader. At the meeting on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum on Thursday, Mr. Trump said the two countries like each other a lot, adding that the feeling is mutual between the two. "We love your country, we think it's truly great," said the president. He added that the two were joined at the hip when it comes to military, same ideals. May echoed Mr. Trump's sentiments, saying the US and UK continue to have that really special relationship as they work together to address issues on trade and the global economy. This was the first time Mr. Trump and May came face-to-face since cancelling a working visit to London to officially open the new US embassy. The president decided not to attend because he said he doesn't like the building, and thinks his predecessor was wrong to sell the old one. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson went in the president's place earlier this month. The two were also at odds in the fall when the president seemingly endorsed a far-right UK political party Britain First by retweeting videos, some with violent imagery, tweeted out by the party's leader. At the time, May's spokesperson criticized Mr. Trump for giving Britain First such a big platform and said the group seeks to divide communities by their use of hateful narratives that peddle lies and stoke tensions. Mr. Trump tweeted a response to May, advising her not to focus on me but instead focus on the destructive radical Islamic terrorism that is taking place within the United Kingdom. He added, "We are doing just fine." The president said on Thursday he wanted to correct a false rumor of any remaining rifts between the two leaders. The live television coverage of the bilateral meeting ended with reporters throwing questions at Mr. Trump about the still lingering prospect of an official state visit to Britain. The president replied curtly that he and May would be discussing it, without any additional detail. As the BBC live coverage returned to anchor Simon McCoy in the studio, he summed up the meeting with trademark British sarcasm, "Well, that was comfortable." Mr. Trump arrived in Davos and the World Economic Forum on Thursday, hours after an impromptu White House press conference with reporters in which he said he is looking forward to being interviewed by Special Counsel Robert Mueller, and is open to a pathway to citizenship for Dreamers. The president also met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the sidelines of the on Thursday. Theresa May struggles to speak for 10 seconds in one-sided phone calls with Donald Trump, insiders claim, report by Evening Standard. Theresa May struggles to speak for more than 10 seconds before being interrupted in official phone calls with Donald Trump, according to dramatic new claims. The leaders' conversations are so one-sided that Ms. May has 5 or 10 seconds to speak before he interrupts and launches into another monologue, Bloomberg reported. Citing anonymous insiders and former government officials, the report claimed the so-called special relationship has soured over the last year. May and Mr. Trump will meet at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, on Thursday. However, the US president is expected to use the event to invite French leader Emmanuel Macron on a state visit in a further snub for the prime minister. In January 2017, May took the unprecedented step of inviting the newly inaugurated president on a state visit to the UK. But the visit has not materialized, and last month Mr. Trump pulled out of a trip to London to open the new US embassy amid fears over mass street protests. Officially, his decision was put down to unhappiness about the embassy's cost and location south of the river. One insider told Bloomberg that Mr. Trump complained to May about the criticism he had been receiving in the British press. The World Economic Forum, which began on Tuesday, has brought together elites from across the globe since it began as a small huddle in the 1970s. This year, more than 900 chief executives and 70 world leaders are attending, with Mr. Trump expected to attract the most attention when he flies in from Washington. He told her he would not be coming to the UK until she could promise him a warm welcome. The Prime Minister reportedly responded that it was simply the way the British press operate, and there wasn't much she could do. Last month, the two leaders engaged in a public Twitter spat after Mr. Trump retweeted 3 unverified, inflammatory, anti-Islam videos posted by group Britain First. Mr. Trump's Davos visit has sparked some protests in Switzerland, with demonstrators saying he is not welcome because of his controversial tweets, his America First stance, and trade policies which have caused controversy across the world. Go Trump! Get more robot daily news by liking then hitting the sub and bell button.